As I sit down to dive into some of the most relatable and hilarious tales from the internet's collective conscience, I'm excited to share these stories with you. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get real about whether we're the jerks in these absurd scenarios. Am I the butthole for telling my wife and not willing to pay for the stray kid that she took in? My wife and I have 2 sons, 7 and 9. She's always wanted a daughter, but we agreed to stop after the 2 kids. The corner store that she frequents had a 14-year-old girl working behind the register from open until she started school, then after school to close. My wife was friendly with her and used to bring her some treats that our nanny baked and would leave the house 10-20 minutes early to visit her before work. Around November, my wife learned more about the girl's home situation and decided to take her shopping for essentials and brought her to our house. I agreed to let her stay for a few days, maybe a week or 2, but my wife grew attached and she's been living with us since then. Not only is she still living with us, my wife encouraged her to quit her job and sends her family her share of the rent, so she doesn't have to go back. In December, I was talking to my wife about her long-term plan for this girl. I suggested that if she was going to stay, maybe we could convert the detached garage into an apartment for her. My wife got angry at the suggestion that we put a little girl in the garage. I tried compromising and suggested that she stay with the nanny. We have a 2-bedroom basement suite for the nanny, but my wife still refused and insisted that she stay in the house with us. I gave in because my wife and sons like her, but I told her I don't plan on paying for any stray kids that she brings into the house. My wife agreed to pay for all of her expenses, and I thought that would be it, but now my wife tells anyone that I'll listen that I tried to put a 14-year-old girl in the garage, and am refusing to pay for anything for her because she's not blood. Now I have her family and some of my family on me because I won't pay for the girl or be a dad to her. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for telling my father his new tattoo is disgusting and disgraceful? Well, about 2 months ago, my dad went to get a tattoo designed. He asked me for an artist that could do architecture, and I sent him to a friend. I got a text that he wanted a Twin Towers tattoo, and I text my friend that we have some baggage with the towers. For context, both my parents were in one of the towers on Sept. 11. My mom never made it out. I get a text back that she was uncomfortable doing it, and so she sent him to a different artist. Well, cut to the other day, and my dad is showing off his new tattoo of the falling man photo. I obviously thought this was disgusting and in poor taste, and told him not only is this a disgustingly inappropriate tattoo, it is a disgrace to Mom. I may have overreacted. Just a tad. So, am I the butthole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole, however. What he experienced changed him forever. He lost his wife. He witnessed the falling man. The meaning this tattoo holds for him can't be explained because he was in the tower. You were not. Best not to tell somebody that their tattoo is disgraceful and disgusting. We don't know what it symbolizes to him. For all we know, this is a tribute and a way he can remember something as traumatic as September 11th, in a way that eases the suffering. The day he survived, but lost his wife. Who knows? It's possible he wishes he was the falling man. Maybe he has survivor's guilt to an extreme, and wishes it was him, and not his wife, your mother. Maybe this is his way of reminding himself every day that life can take a turn, and you can wake up in the morning with everything totally fine, only to have your entire world collapse in a moment. Thus, you should appreciate every day and live like you could be that falling man. I would suggest getting curious with your father as opposed to shaming him. There's enough hurt here to last 10 lifetimes already. I think that you jumped to react, and that's allowed, but there's clearly a deeper meaning here, and to generalize it as distasteful without understanding the why is premature. Survivor's guilt, this woman. Agreed. He has a different perspective because he was there. It would be disgraceful on someone that didn't experience the event firsthand. I can't imagine what's going on in his head, but he gets a pass. To me, it's soft no butthole here, for pretty much the same reasons. Yeah, it's kinda creepy to use another person's spouse to commemorate surviving 911 and losing a spouse. But if anyone could have an excuse for it, it would be him. I just hope it's covered for the most part, because I'll admit if I saw some random middle-aged guy with a falling man tattoo, I'd do a double take, and not in a good way. And now for the next story. AITA, if I didn't sell my house to friends? Throwaway account. My house is for sale. It's being sold due to my marriage, unexpectedly breaking down after I found out my husband, Adam, had been having a year-long affair, and when caught, moved out. Adam has been a real poet in the aftermath. Very justified, hostile, and mean. It's been awful. Did I mention we have 2 kids? They are 3 and 1. I was pregnant the entire time he cheated. I digress. The house is in my name and is operating under a private sale. And right now, there are a few parties competing for it. I'll sell it in the next 72 hours to clear our debt. Here is the kicker. His best friend, his best man, and his wife want to buy it. But they didn't tell me. They had the estate agent tell me. These are people who I have called friends for a long time. But when this affair broke out, they were sympathetic, but then vanished in the last 6 months. Ghosted me and the children. Would be cordial when I ran into them, and I would be too. But other than that, no support. Now they are in a tight race with others to buy it, and I find the entire scenario weird and deeply awkward. Why wouldn't they just call and tell me beforehand? Why get the agent to tell me? There's better ways to go about this. They aren't bad people. Just awkward. This is so shitty and emotional. But on a logical front, sell this damn house. So the offers are coming in and they're getting pretty tight money-wise and similar in terms. I told the agent that someone needs to differentiate and make a bigger offer so that I'm not splitting hairs. I am reluctant to sell to them as it's so weird and awkward. I feel like they're dancing on the grave a bit. I really want these other bidders I don't know to get it, because I don't want to make a decision. I don't really see these friends anymore. My husband does, and I can see it for what it is, despite it being really disappointing by them. Would I be the asshole if I went with these other people if the offers and terms were practically the same? And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for leaving my 5-month-old baby with my guy for the first time since giving birth? So I decided that I want to meet up with a female friend for dinner without bringing my baby. I made sure that I changed and fed my breastfed baby before leaving. I wrote down instructions on how to prepare the bottle and pured food for my partner so he would be at ease. I even wrote down that he should call if he has any issues. I only managed to pump 1 bottle, and I had 200 ml worth of frozen pumped milk in the freezer. I didn't think it would be necessary to let my partner know about the frozen milk as I knew I wouldn't be gone for more than 3 hours. But I had it in the freezer for backup if he called. Backstory. My partner goes to the gym every day after work and only comes home around 6:30 p.m. Even while I was on maternity leave, he continued going to the gym and coming back home late. Sometimes he would go meet up with his friends and only come home after 10 p.m. Other times, he would tell me minutes prior that he would be dropping off his mom in a different town, which then led to him coming back late at night. So since he usually does his own thing and comes back whenever he feels like it, I thought it wouldn't be a problem for me to leave the house for the first time, without the baby to have dinner with my friend. In total, I left at 7 p.m. and arrived home at 10:30 p.m. Boy, did my partner lash out on me. He first put off his phone when I tried to call him shortly after I had left to check up on the baby. I noticed that he turned his calls off, so I sent a message on WhatsApp asking how the baby is. He responded, "She's fine." I responded, "All right, awesome. Should I bring you food?" He didn't respond for over 1.5 hours. He then sent a message just before 9, telling me that the baby is crying non-stop. I responded at 10, asking how the baby is now, and didn't get a response. I figured it wasn't that bad, as he hadn't called since he sent the message about the baby crying. While I was driving home about to pull up to our place, he called yelling at me, "Where are you? The baby is crying. Where are you?" Before I could respond, he hung up on me. When I got home, he was fuming, telling me what kind of mother am I going out when I have a baby to breastfeed at home, and that the baby has been crying for an hour. He yelled at me and started banging the doors and throwing stuff like his charger and phone case. I calmly responded, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought you would have called. I have frozen breast milk in the fridge." He stormed out and came back 3 hours later and slept in the other bedroom. When I woke up this morning, he seemed upset still, as he wasn't speaking to me. It's almost evening time now, and I am still being given silent treatment, so I wanted to know. AITA? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. I'm seriously concerned for you. This isn't what a supportive father and partner looks like. I think you have bigger issues. You should be able to have nights off at least once a month. Just because you're a mother doesn't mean you aren't a woman who needs friends and to relax. Too many people expect a woman to just be mother after birth. You should be a family unit, and on the same team, not fighting because you took one night to do what he does every night. If he cannot handle the baby crying though, that is very concerning for him to be alone for long periods of time. Talk to a trusted friend or counselor. Also, he's too old to be acting like this. Adults talk. Yes. This would worry me that baby is at risk for abusive head trauma, formerly known as shaken baby syndrome. It's an unreal level of anger because he had to deal with a baby being a baby. Furthermore, if he wasn't able to soothe kiddo, that tells me he's likely not an involved parent and doesn't know his kid well. That's its own separate but entwined issue. His inability to handle a crying baby without resorting to anger is a major red flag. Relationships should involve teamwork, not blame shifting. It sounds like a serious conversation about parenting roles is needed here. Right? We have a video of me right after I was born. My oldest brother is holding me in a rocker in the hospital room, and I start crying. My dad asks my brother what he does. He starts rocking me, and I stop crying. My brother was 11. So if he 11 can figure it out, a father should be able to. The inability to soothe his baby because he comes home whenever he damn well pleases completely shocked me. This man does not think of his family as a priority. He's far more interested in living his life. FFS. I'm proud dad to a unio. The other night I was up until 4 a.m. trying to get my little teething boy down while mama rested. Poor kid is having a hard time growing teeth. I couldn't imagine leaving my partner alone for HRS, while I ran off and did fuck all for 3 years after work. Then having to audacity to mad at her for wanting, have some baby free time, with a friend. Hell no. Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.